Okay. Had a little drama getting started there for a second. It's so weird on here because when you go live, it automatically wants to put you in vertical mode, which I hate doing it that way. I don't know why. It just feels weird. And you have to go through the settings in order to get it to flip, so it's horizontal. So yeah, it took me a second. How are you guys doing? How's it going out there? I can't believe it's been a full week since we did this last. Time is flying. Hello, Ohio. Hi, Travis. How you guys doing? Busy week? Hey, hey. Hey, Mike. I saw the comment and I was like, oh. Hampton, Connecticut. Nice. Hello, Denny. Hello, Matt. Hello, Keller. Hey, Chris. Hello, Chris. Oh, it's been a week. It hasn't been a bad week, but it's been a week. It's been very busy. Hello, Massachusetts. So is Sherry coming? I don't know. We were joking around. I think that in order to pull her into this, I would have had to set it up beforehand so that I could send her a link so that she could join. We'll have to figure out how to do that at some point. But speaking of which, hey, Kansas City. Hello, Alicia. Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys noticed or caught it, but on social we've been, Dustin and I have been sharing, hello, Vermont. I have not seen your drawing, Bobby. I'm not sure where you sent it. Hello, guys. Hello. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Dustin and I have been posting, on social about, we started another channel on here. So we each have our own, and then we're starting one together, and it's called Rebellious Spirits. So if you want to find us on here, there's the link in the description of this video. But if you try to search us, it's kind of hard to find us, probably because it's a new channel. But it's at rebellious_spirits, and we'll pop right up. So definitely follow that one. We're going to be going live on the 29th. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's coming up soon. We're pretty excited about that. Should I try Facebook as well? I don't know. You can try it. I don't know if I've got it set up so that people can post. Instagram and X you got it on. Okay, I'll have to check later because I can't check while I'm here. Let's shoot the shit. I like that title. Oh, awesome, Michael. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're really excited to get started. We have a general idea of what we want to do, which I won't get into the details now because I don't want to steal all the fun from Dustin. But yeah, we've had a general idea. We've been kind of kicking around for the last, year or so. And he's a very busy man. And I keep myself pretty busy too. So it's just trying to get us both to nail down dates or brainstorm. It's been kind of a pain in the butt. But we're just like, you know what, screw it. We're going to get started. And it might be a little loose when we first start, but we do have an overall plan for the channel. So hopefully you guys will be there to kind of grow along with us as we go. Because yeah, we're really looking forward to getting started. We've always enjoyed working together, so it should be fun. Hey Rob. It'll be really good seeing Dustin and you working together again. Thank you, Paulette. I met Dustin at Fairfield Woods Library in Connecticut. He's awesome. He's a really solid person. I was about to subscribe to his new channel. Can't wait. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I remember watching Ghost Hunters in 2004. Whoa, that was before I came on. I didn't come on until like 2007, I believe. Hello, Nebraska. Hey, Mike. Yeah, so we've been busy trying to get that ready and going and started. We had an early kind of trial run with our patrons on the 21st. We're both on Patreon, and we're gonna try out the whole live feature because Sherry and I were joking around about it yesterday. She was like, oh, I want to jump in to tonight's live. And I was like, are you serious? Because I figured if she was, I'd figure it out. But yeah, you have to like there's this little toggle you have to hit on the settings for my end, and then I'd have to send her a link so that she could jump in, and we didn't get any of that sorted. So you guys are just stuck with me for right now. You're just gonna have to deal. Hey, Mary. Hello, Texas. How can one get an autograph photo, maybe? I actually have them on my Halloween store site. I run a Halloween shop year-round. It's called Wickedly Williams, and there is a link to that in the description below the video as well. So I was actually working on some more stuff for it. I buy stuff from other creators. I try to stick with stuff that's made or designed and sold by other small businesses, but I have some stuff mixed in from larger places too, and then I occasionally make my own stuff. This is one of the things I was working on this morning. Got a bunch of keychains. Got Halloween candy. I've got dots and jack-o'-lanterns and candy corn. I've got some owls and cats and pumpkins. They're all kind of like vintage looking, which is kind of fun. Halloween plaid. We've got jack-o'-lanterns and ghosts. And this crazy like rainbowy pattern. It's got pumpkins and skulls and all kinds of stuff on it. And my sugar skulls. So that was my morning, making up a shit ton of these. It's like, I don't have them posted on the site yet, but I'll have them up soon. I have your stuff all over my house. Yeah, you've ordered for me a few times. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, thank you. I'm actually trying to get it so that the shop helps get this channel going. It's kind of like paying my bills so that I can focus on this, which is nice. Same with Patreon. It's just kind of helping get everything rolling, because I would like to have my own separate space here where I kind of cover a whole bunch of stuff. You guys know I've shared a lot of stuff over the years, and I've really struggled to pick which one to run with, and I'm sick of trying to pick one. So I'm gonna just take your advice and just do all of it. I just need to find a way of doing it so it's not so chaotic and manic, because it can come off that way. I love the variety of keychains. Thank you. There's actually one more, but the last one is in the mystery box for this month. That's another thing. If you guys have not heard of my shop, I do a mystery box every month. It comes in 2 option styles, female or unisex, and each one has their own batch of items, and it's either like 3 to 5 items a box. It just depends on what I put in there and the cost for them. Hire me as your assistant. I wish I could. I wish I was in a place to hire help. Do you ship to the UK? Not at the moment, but I noticed that Shopify has this new feature. It's called, I think, Shopify Markets Pro. So I'm looking at possibly opening it up to overseas. It's just, they never get the shipping calculated right. So it just takes a while to figure it out. So I just haven't had the time to really look into it. But I have had a few people overseas email me with what they were looking to get. And then I'll figure out what shipping is. And if they're happy, I send it out. So that's one thing I can do. I just saw somebody ask about my paintings. I was looking at your site. Do you only do poured paintings? Shipping is through the roof right now. You're not kidding. No, poured paintings are actually kind of left field for me. I was always more someone who was super obsessed with detail, like really obsessed with detail and trying to get it exact. And I never was somebody who really liked abstract art. I just never understood it. And especially modern art, actually. Abstract can be kind of okay, but yeah, I don't know. It was just never my thing. So when I started doing the pours, it was so tough because everything in me wanted to control everything the paint was doing. And that is not what you do with paint pours. You can actually only control so much. You can control the colors you're picking, the amount of paint you're using, Making sure that your canvas is level. You might play around with the paint with blow dryers and straws and a bunch of other like tools you can use to pour the paint. But beyond that, there's only so much you can control, and it used to make me mental, completely and utterly mental, because I was more very detail conscious. Let's see, I don't really have anything. I've got my sketchbook, which I haven't touched in a long time. Oh yeah, I've got a painting from you in my front hallway. I remember sending you one out. I used to paint landscape and seascapes, and now I only paint abstract. Okay, you went the other way. It does force you to loosen up, that's for sure. I need some sage candles. I don't have sage candles, but I do have, well, there might be a sage one in there. It's probably sage mixed with other stuff though. Yeah, you're very detailed on ghost hunters. I would like to hear about the ghost hunting aspect. Okay. I'll just show you guys this real quick. This isn't the only examples I have at the moment. So for those of you who are over on Patreon with me, please look familiar. So I put on drawing prompts on Patreon, and this one was jump. I had 2 for jump. So there's my skydiver and my girl jump roping. I was trying to get in the habit of drawing every day, and it just did not happen. It's a broken piggy bank. I think the word was shattered. So I got my hammer and my broken piggy. And then I had the words antique and balance. So that's what I did. It's been a little while since I've drawn. I'm such a slacker lately. I think I put up favorite childhood toy, and I started doing this one. You gotta get a tone sketchbook. It's funny because I have 2 up there. I have a tan and a gray one. I just haven't touched it. Well, that's really good. Far and away better than I could do. Thank you so much. Never doing anything unless you're tedious and feel like an obligation. Yeah, so this one I did, it was supposed to be favorite childhood toy was the prompt. So I was drawing my Cabbage Patch Kid, which I still have. She's actually staring at me right now from the corner. She's kind of creepy, but don't tell her I said that. One of them was hands, and I did 2. I didn't like this one. It looked kind of sickly. I don't know. The wrist just doesn't look right. But then I did this one, and I really liked the hands on that one. I just didn't finish it, but really sketchbooks aren't about finishing stuff though either. It's getting ideas, and it's supposed to be rough. And I think that's one of the things that drives me nuts with a lot of artists, especially on YouTube. It's like everything is this perfect looking masterpiece in their sketchbooks, and they're supposed to be a hot mess. I've always loved your art. Used to love when you posted them from time to time. Thank you. I think this one was lucky for the word. I've got an obsession with ladybugs. I don't know how much more I did here actually. Oh, I was kind of playing around with flowers. And let's see. Oh, bottles. Got my page of bottles. And wow, I did more than I thought I did actually. Then we got a page of shoes. Sending me ladybugs. I love it. Yeah, I think that's all I got in here. It's so bad. I was doing so well with keeping up with it, and then it just died off. I gotta get better with it because I've got so many ideas, and I've got an idea that I think you guys are gonna really like. Love that perspective in the bottles. Thank you. I actually always like drawing bottles. All the reflections and stuff is kind of cool. Profile pic is one I did of my dog. Oh, cool. I can just barely make it out. Find creating abstract paintings relaxing. I have some posted on Instagram. My granddaughter is very talented with sketching like you. Thank you. All right. Are you looking forward to investigating again? There's a question I got. Sorry to be off subject, but didn't Dustin have a sis on Ghost Hunters? Just occasionally wonder. I don't think so. Not that I know of. No, I think he just has brothers. My favorite spaz. Woo! All right, so what was the question about? Do you ever do nice little trees like Bob Ross? No, I'm horrible with landscapes. Landscapes freak me out because, like, abstract stuff, it just feels too loose and I get really stuck. Like, it just feels like it's soft, and I'm very line heavy with my stuff. So I just feel like every time I try to do landscapes, it just is a complete and utter hot mess. So I would like to get better with it though, because I do have some ideas for some things I'd like to do, and it would probably be good to be a bit better at it. Do you still have prints for sale? The only thing I have a print for is that funny little like snake guy that I did. I do plan on doing more art. I have a whole series idea for you guys. People on Patreon know what's up. But I think it's something you guys will really enjoy. And when I start that, there will be prints. But right now, all I have is the one illustration that I did with this snake. What does Dustin do for work that requires so much travel? Dustin does everything. He has his normal day job, and then he's doing lectures and events and speaking and tour. He's all over the place all the time. He's probably one of the busiest people I've ever met in my life. And he's probably the, he's just constantly delayed. I think he's got the worst traveling luck ever. He's like, every time I look at his posts online or I'm texting him, he's like stuck at some random airport. Oh, where was it? Somebody asked me about investigating. Are you looking forward to investigating again? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. I know that Dustin and I are trying to work that into part of what our channel will be. Again, I don't want to get into too many details, but for me, I was always more interested in the history of the locations and the history of the people that were in the locations and the events that took place at them. I loved wandering around the old buildings. All that stuff that is stuff that I really liked about the job. So I don't know, we'll see. We're still working on the plans for it. We have basic structure in mind. And I have a feeling too, once we get going, I have a feeling you guys will help us shape it as well. He does not have luck flying, but he stays so cool in combat. He does. I don't know how he does it. Chris, have you been to Ashmore, and what's your opinion on the location? I've never been that I'm aware of, so I really can't give a opinion on that one. Chris, did anything happen on Ghost Hunters that really scared you? No. Here's the thing is everybody's just like, oh, it's so scary. It's so scary. It's not scary. You wander, like the scariest thing about the location usually is the location itself. That is it, right? You go into this big old abandoned building. You have no idea if the floors are going to be weak and you might go through them. One of the reasons why they say no running if something happens is because we've been in places with open elevator shafts or stairways completely missing. You have to worry about places where parts of the roof are caved in and still caving in. You have to worry about wild animals being in the building. There's been a few times where investigators have run into people who are homeless living in the locations. One of the locations, they came out and attacked the owner with a lead pipe and broke his hand. So that was scary. Those are the things that scare me. And those are the things that scare most of us. We're not when something happens, it's like I've never had something that was crazy to the point where I'm like, I'm never going back. I don't think any of us have really had that. Um, and I have grown very tired of people pushing the whole demonic thing because it's complete and utter bullshit. It's just like, it is the clickbait. It's just nonsense. It's complete and utter stupidity and nonsense that people are just throwing around to scare the shit out of you because they know you're all hyped up in all the horror movies you've watched. So it's not that crazy and it's not that scary because usually what happens is you're in a building for a long period of time wandering around in the dark, and then if something happens, it happens and your brain just takes a second like, did that just freaking happen? You might get excited, you might get thrown off guard, but like not scared. I wouldn't use scared as the word. And the thing is like we'd immediately go into debunking mode. So when you're doing that, you're like, okay, well, let's try to pull this apart. By the time you've gone through all the possibilities of what it could have been, I mean, you're there for a good 30 minutes to an hour, and if it was anything scary, like that scary, something would have happened by then. It's just, I'm just tired. I'm so tired of the demon screamers because it's not that crazy. It's just not. It's good clickbait. That's all it is. My goodness. Okay. Best location in Europe. Research of history of a place that can be fun and interesting. I'm really surprised to learn that a lot of ghost hunters say they have never seen a ghost, just paranormal experiences. Have you ever seen a ghost? Whatever that word means to you. Shadow, spirit. I don't know what it is we're hunting. I honestly don't. I don't even know how I would begin to describe it. And I can't even say that it's absolutely a person who passed. I don't even know if I necessarily believe that idea. I don't know. But I have seen weird shit. I've definitely seen some weird shit. Again, I don't know how to explain it. I've always been kind of like, the way I always describe it is, if you think back in the day, right, people used to think the world was flat. And everybody believed the world was flat. And anytime there was something that was going on around us, we have a tendency of building an entire story around it in order for us to feel comfortable with the subject matter, right? Because we can't handle not having all the answers. So I feel like some of it might be, we like to say it's people that's passed because we can't understand it. We can't, prove whatever it is 100%. But I think that we might have told ourselves that's what it is in order to be okay with whatever's happening that we don't understand. We build stories around things to feel comfortable. So I don't know if what we're experiencing is just completely normal and natural and someday it'll be figured out and it'll be like no big thing. Or if it is what everybody's thinking as somebody who's passed. I don't know. But I have seen 2 shadow figures, one on the show, one off the show. One was at Iron Island in Buffalo, New York, and that place was crazy because, all right, this was a weird case. So I'd been with them for a little while, maybe a year or so, because it was before Amy came on. So I think she came on in 2009. So this was probably around 2008. We pulled up to this place called Iron Island Museum, I think is what it was called. And it was in Buffalo, New York. And we pulled up and I was just like, ugh. It's just this little building. I'm like, it used to be a funeral home. They found ashes that were unclaimed in the basement. It used to be a church. Not all people are comfortable in churches. Most people aren't comfortable in funeral homes. And then now it's a museum full of old shit, right? So I'm just kind of like, people sometimes get weirded out around old you know, antiques for whatever reason too. So when we pulled up, I was just not impressed. I was not like, I don't know, I was just having one of those weird days. I was like, oh God, people are making something out of nothing. They're letting their imaginations run around on them. Don't know why we're here. So in we go. I was working with Kristen Gartland, and the way it was, there was 2 doors to get in and out of this place, if I remember correctly. There's 2 doors we were using anyways. There was the front door that went right out to the street, and there was a side door where we had brought in our equipment. And usually what would happen is we tried to lock all doors but one, just because we wanted to control where people were coming in and out, so we knew, you know, what was going on. It wasn't just a free-for-all, right? Trying to control the environment to some degree. And Kristen Gartland and I, we were investigating and nothing was happening. It was super quiet, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, you know, I didn't expect anything from the place. So we ended up doing one of those little interviews that you guys saw, because we're wrapping up our investigation, right? So there's Kristen. She's standing with her back towards the hall that went all the way out to the front door, right? Now off this hall were 2 old viewing rooms for when it was a funeral home. And there was Kristen, and then right in front of her was the camera guy. And then right behind him, I was standing. And then right next to him, we had a brand new camera guy. It was his first investigation, his first time out with us, right? And we had a sound guy, which wasn't normal for us. Typically we didn't, well, no, we had a sound guy. It was a producer we didn't have with us. So it was, how many of us? Kristen, camera guy, me, sound. Okay, so there's 5 of us. Kristen is there talking, and, you know, they're asking her questions about how the investigation went, and she's running through what went down and what we did or didn't experience while we're in there. And then clear as day, there was this shadow. It looked like, think of like one of those shooting targets, like the full body black silhouette shooting targets. It looks like that, but it's not against the wall. It's standing on its own, and it was walking, and it walked from right to left. And as it passed the front door, you could hear the door unlock, and then it just kind of disappeared into, what was that? The last question. Okay, I don't understand the question. I'll get back to it though in a second. So yeah, so I saw the shadow. It stepped out from the right corner. It passed the door, the front door, and as it passed, we heard the door unlock, and then it kept going and just disappeared into the left corner, which was just the side of the building. And before I could even say anything, the new camera guy goes, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Did you see that?" And he's like, "It was a man." I was like, "Yes." So we go running down to the end of the hall, and the crew had done something they didn't typically do. They had actually hung a piece of like really heavy black material outside the front of the door to cover the door and the windows, because there was a lot of light coming in, but they don't typically do that. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe what we saw was actually outside, and I was seeing it through the window, but it still didn't make sense, because I know I'd seen legs, like I saw walking. You wouldn't have seen that part if it was outside and not inside. So it didn't make sense. But still, I was trying to wrap my head around it. So Chris grabs the door, turns the handle, opens the door. Door was unlocked. Door started locked at the beginning of the night. So we heard it unlock. It was unlocked. She opens it, and there's the black curtain, and it fell. So then I was just like, holy shit, you know, the black curtain's outside. It wasn't a shadow coming in from the outside. Whatever it was that we saw was inside with us. So now all of us are psyched, because it was dead quiet the entire night. So we ended up sitting in one of the viewing rooms, the front viewing room. And I was sitting on one couch. Kristen was sitting on the other. Behind her couch was our audio guy, and he was sitting on the floor to stay out of the way so we could, look around and have a clear view without people being like right there. And our camera guy was doing his thing, and it was the weirdest freaking feeling. It was like all of a sudden the room was just full of people. It was like tons of people just all standing in the room, and it just felt like the room was kind of closing in on you. It was the weirdest thing. And I remember saying something to Chris about it. I was like, the room just feels heavy for some reason, and it feels like we're being like circled, or like, it was really weird. But when we wrapped up our investigation, or that round, the audio guy came over to me. He's like, I just started feeling that, and you said it. He's like, it felt like they were like 100 people in that room, and they were all just circling around us. It was the weirdest freaking thing. And I don't know if you guys remember it, but it was the same case where they stuck Tango in the attic, and he's like, do I have permission to go Jersey on him? And Jay and Grant were just laughing. They were like, yeah, go for it. And he just started going off. And I remember they got some voice that wasn't too thrilled with Tango. So I learned after that location to never judge a book by its cover, because I expected absolutely nothing from it. But yeah, that was one of the times that I saw a shadow figure, and I've only seen them twice. So this is what drives me nuts. When people make it look like there's a ghost in every house, on every corner of every street, in every town, in every city, it's not that crazy. And when they start adding demons to the mix, I just want to scream, because it's complete and utter bullshit. Whether or not there is some demonic activity out there, sure, maybe. I've never seen it in 4 years of looking for it. So if it is a thing, it's very uncommon, and it's not as ridiculous as everybody tries to make it sound. So that is my 2 cents. Sorry guys, I'm just scrolling back through your questions really quick to see if I missed. Last question, I promise I haven't subscribed to your dating blog. I don't have a dating blog. Is it total hell like you titled it? If so, I feel you. I don't have a dating blog, but when I was single, I was I was screenshotting the really crazy ass profiles and sharing them with my subscribers on Instagram, because there were some insanely stupid and outrageous and just over the top stuff. I've never seen anything like it. I was posting it to Instagram for my subscribers, but then Instagram started striking me for it. It was weird because I didn't show their names or their faces or anything. It was just what they put in their bios. And I'm telling you, the shit that people put in there is the craziest stuff I've ever read. I wonder if I could pull some of them up and I could read some of them to you guys. Hold on one second. Grab the computer. Maybe I can read a few of the crazies that I found. Harry Houdini debunked all the mediums. Maybe you and Dustin should do a debunking project for bad paranormal programs. I like how honest you are. Thank you. You're the best for answering my questions. No problem. Let me see. Give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can get into this, into my website, and I can share a couple of them with you, because some of the shit that people write on those things, it kind of makes you want to be single for life. It's so bad. I just don't know if I could get in right away. Products. Is this gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? I would have had this up if I knew you guys wanted to hear about crazy dating shit. I have not been single in almost a year, thank Christ, because people are nuts. It was not a fun experience. Like, it's just some of the crap you gotta put up with to find somebody that's normal-ish. I don't consider myself 100% normal, but I mean, the stuff that I was dealing with was nutty. All right, so where is my site? It's always such a pain in the ass to find it on GoDaddy. It's like, brr. All right. Which business? Domains. Is it that one? No, I gotta go down to manage. There we go. Almost there. Getting there. Yeah, they're crazy, Paulette. Dating sites are nuts. They're just completely nuts. View my site. I don't want to just view it. I need to get into it so that I can show you guys because I got a password on it. Oh, I think we're in. Hold on. God, this is taking forever. I'm sorry. Ooh, here we go. All right, comments, post. Posts are what I want. Oh, okay, so I had 6 posts and I was dropping 4 bios at a time. And oh my God, social media has definitely made dating a nightmare. It's just, people are nuts, man. They're just crazy. They don't know how to interact with people. And of course, this is after COVID too, where everybody's been shut down forever and they forget how to be a normal human being. So it was crazy. All right, so let's see what this one says. This was round 1. And like I said, I put 4 to a page. Just waiting for it to open. Okay, so one guy, his name was Matt. He says he's 36, and in his bio, all it said was, "I'm a mess." So yeah, fair warning. That was it. I was like, wow, okay, that's attractive. There was another one that, all right, so let's say, and I'm not bagging on people who have addiction problems because they're no joke, but like when you just meet somebody, you don't drop everything on them the first time you meet them, right? You might kind of like just get to know them and you start talking to them about random stuff, and then you might work into that you've had your struggles. This guy was like, "I'm looking for a long-term relationship and friends. I'm compassionate, empathetic, loyal, hardworking, and love intimacy and companionship. I'm in recovery for a meth addiction, but going on 8 months clean. I have a car, own my own apartment." And it's like he didn't even say it. He goes, "This is good about me. It's good, 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 good. Oh, by the way, good, 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 good." I was just like, I don't even know what to do with that. Where are some of the other ones though? I only had 2 on that one. Round 2. I just keep screenshotting them and saving them and sending them to my friends who are not single and being like, consider yourself lucky. Oh, here's one. This guy said, "Someone farted in my pants." That was literally his bio. The other one said, "I enjoy peeing on toilet seats and driving off cliffs and dying in a fiery car crash. I travel for work, plus points if you know any good spots to watch midget wrestling." I mean, how can you pass that up? This guy says, "I'm a cheater and a liar, a hypocrite that peaches sobriety while trying to score more drugs, narcissist to the T, though I can't spell that. My ex-girlfriend had to help me with that part." What are you even talking about? Like, and from there it just gets worse. Like this guy, Lordy, this guy says pronouns daddy/master. Then he says, "Yes, my dogs bite, but I bite harder. There are 2 ways to scramble eggs. I'm scrambling yours or you're cooking them for me." I mean, why would a girl just decide to stay single for the rest of her life when she can just deal with this? It was like, and I have 6 posts like this. Each one has at least 4 of this nonsense. It was the craziest shit I've ever read in my life. Sometimes it was humorous, and the rest of the time I just was like, why? Why would anybody even bother at this point? Luckily, I found somebody who's normal. Sounds like his ex-wife got a hold of his account and password. Hopefully that's the case, because that was kind of nuts. Living people can be worse than ghosts. Exactly. I have shirts that say ghosts don't scare me, people do, for a reason. Oh my god, I am dying. Oh my fucking god, that's some really private info off the jump, right? You guys want to see one more of these? Should I do one more? I mean, it was just nuts. That was two. Let's see. Sure. Okay. We'll do one more. What fresh hell's in this one? Oh, here's one. This guy says, I haven't had sex in 4 years. Will someone please help? No, thank you. Pass. This guy says, this is like total Hannibal Lecter vibes. He said, there is no substitute for skin. Huh? I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's over his blow-up doll. I have no idea what his deal is, but it gave me some serious put the lotion in the basket vibes. I can't even, I'm telling you, it was just a train wreck. This guy says, I like sleeping, eating, crying, cats, and antidepressants. I was like, wow, that sounds like a fantastic time. I mean, again, where do I sign up? And this guy says, I just want to eat tacos and rub on some booty. Is that too much to ask for? Yeah, pass. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's just, I had 6 posts of this. People are nuts. Those pickup lines they're using need some work, are you right? So anyways, those became like my most popular posts on Instagram for my subscribers. They freaking loved them. But then Instagram slapped me for it. And again, it doesn't make any sense why, because I didn't put their names. I didn't put their locations. Actually, no, I put their first name and their age, but I didn't show their face, didn't show their location. There's no last, you could never find these people. But the bios were absolute, complete and utter chaos. And I'm like, well, no wonder why you're single, dude. I don't even know why you're on here. It was so weird. And then I had a couple girlfriends that were single too. So we were sharing the crazy ones we find. Imagine Jeffrey Dahmer having access to dating sites. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't even. Yeah, no. I'm trying to think if there's any crazy dates. I went out with 1, 2, 3, 4. I went out with 4 guys and then I met my guy and that was it. I was like, nope. He is great. He is sane, which is something I've really needed. But yeah, some of the other ones are kind of chaotic. Yeah. It was, dating sucks. I'm not a fan of single life. I'm just not. All right. We don't miss the dating scene either. Good to know it's still crazy out there. Yeah, it's just gotten worse. Oh my God, you made my night. Thank you. I'm glad I did. Those pickup lines are using need some work. Okay, I think I got caught up. Patty has seen these. With biographies like that, makes you wonder why they're single. Yeah, it's real catches. Some real catches. I told you about the date where he recognized you. That's a fun story. Oh yeah, I told that one I think last week. Online dating is a nightmare. Women's profiles are just as bad. See, I would have liked to see what the guys were seeing. Like the guys that I talked to and that I'd actually gone out with, they were saying like the girls are half naked and then they're like, I'm not here for a hookup. It's like, okay, well, if you're not there for a hookup, how about putting on some more clothes in your pictures so you don't look like you're there for a hookup? Because that makes no sense. And they were saying, like, they instantly want to know how much the guy made and what they drove for their car. And I was like, well, that's pretty screwed up, too. But I think those are the biggest complaints that they had. Trying to find a girl who didn't look like she was on a escort site or something. And one that wasn't just asking about a job and money and cars. So the guys have it rough too, but I just like, I'm obviously only going to see the girls ones. So I don't know. I can't believe people actually put that stuff on the internet. It's amazing what they'll put on the internet. I've never seen anything like it. I've been with my honey bunny for almost 17 years. I would rather live a hermit life than ever jump into the dating game. Yeah, I hear you. It's awful. Yeah, it was awful. I'm trying to think if I had any like really crazy ones. The first guy I went out with was like exactly like my ex-husband, and I went out with him for one date and I'm like, nope. It was a complete and utter train wreck, and he absolutely loved himself more than I ever could love him. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. And then the second guy ghosted me. He ghosted a ghost hunter. I don't know what happened. I really don't. But yeah, he was weird. He was like, he just was gone. It was just fine, whatever. Then the other guy, he was like, he was just, something wasn't setting right in me. Like something was kind of like internally on high alert, and I couldn't figure out why. So I went out with him, I think 6 times. And I found out why my internal alarms were going off on the last date, because he was a lot. He kept trying to get me to take a trip with him back east. Like, he's like, oh, let's go on a trip to Boston. That was like one of the first things he said to me in our messaging back and forth on this app. And Chris, thank you for doing this live chat. It's great. Thank you. Thank you guys for showing up. I know you don't have to be here listening to me talk all kinds of shit, so thank you. But yeah, so this one guy, we went out the first time and it was a lot of fun. We went and played trivia at this bar, and there was one thing that kind of popped up that didn't sit right with me. He was in a biker club. If you're in one, all the power to you. I'm not a motorcycle girl. And that was the only thing where I was like, because if he's in a club, he's going to want to ride. He's going to want to go regularly. He's probably going to want me on the bike. I don't really want to do that. So I was kind of on the fence. And he's like, oh, you don't have to ride. You're good, whatever. So I was like, okay. And then my aunt and uncle were like, if he's in a club, he's going to want you to ride. Like, that's their life. It's like live and die. They're on their bikes. They're out with their crew. Like, you're not going to be able to get around this. And I was like, oh, okay. So we went out again. Second date went weird. I think the second date went kind of sideways. It was just really awkward and really strange, and I couldn't figure out why. So then we went out a third time, and I'm thinking, well, the first date was great. The second date was really weird. I can't figure out why, so I'll go out with him again. Third date went okay. But then he kept pressuring me about taking a trip to Boston, and I'm like, why am I going to take a trip to you with Boston? I don't know you. Like, why would I get on a plane and go 3,000 miles on a trip with somebody I do not know? It made no sense, right? There are clubs that are not like the Hells Angels. I know, but I say I'm not a bike girl, but my boyfriend now, I got on the bike with him twice. But I think there was something about this guy. Like I said, internally, bells were just not, they were just ringing, and not in the best of ways. Like, alarm bells were going. So anyways, we ended up getting to like date 6, and we went out to this pub, the first pub that we went to, actually, funny enough. And he was like, he just kept trying to fast track everything. Like, he wanted me to meet all of his friends on the second. He wanted me to meet all his club buddies on the second date. I'm like, no. I just met you. I'm still trying to figure out if I like you. Like, why would I go and meet all of your friends on a third date? That makes no sense. You know, and then he kept talking about doing this big trip. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So the last day, he got really pushy about it. And he's like, oh, you should come and hang out with my crew tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, well, you told me you were busy, so I made plans. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. He's like, well, when were you going on a trip to Boston? I'm like, I'm not going on a trip to Boston with you. Like, I don't know you. So he started getting pissy, and he picks up his phone. He's like, well, I'll look up tickets right now. And I started getting upset because he just wasn't listening. So he's like, oh, tickets are only this much for March. And this was like, when did I see him last? He was looking at tickets for March. I think it was the beginning of February, maybe. And I was like, I'm not going on a trip to Boston with you. Like, I just met you. And he's like, why not? I'm like, because I don't know you well enough to take a big trip like that. Maybe if we were dating for a while, yeah, sure. But I'm not doing it. So then he goes, you're gaslighting me. I'm like, I got so pissed. Because I know some of you guys know that I talked about my marriage with my ex-husband and how it was just very abusive. And one of his tactics was gaslighting. So when this man said it to me, I got insanely pissed off. And I was just looking at him like, are you freaking kidding me? Because he was technically gaslighting me. He wanted me to go on a trip. I was saying no. And I was saying why I was saying no. I don't feel comfortable. I don't know you very well. Maybe if we keep dating, I'm not going on a trip with you now. And he spun that right around on me. He's like, you're gaslighting me. I was pissed. And the whole thing went like off a cliff after that. I just had to make sure I got out of there in one piece and away from him in one piece. And then, yeah, it was just train wreck. Dating is not fun. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. And it gets under my skin is when people don't listen to understand. Well, I think it wasn't even that he wasn't listening. He didn't like my answer. You know, there's people that listen. There's people that don't listen. It's like in one ear and out the other. And then there's people that hear what you're saying, but they don't like what you're saying. So, and this is a thing that was crazy to me too, is he even admitted at one point that he was trying to manipulate me, right? So I was like, I don't know why you keep pushing me on this. I go, you know, I've told you a bunch of times now, I'm not going on a trip with you. I don't know you well enough. He's like, well, I figured if I ask you enough, I'd finally wear you down. And I'm like, and then after that, he accused me of gaslighting. I was like, okay, you've just admitted that you're a manipulative personality type. And now you're accusing me of what you're doing. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah. How was your week? Just got here. Hello, hello, and welcome. The week was good. Self-admitted narcissist. Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. I was just sitting there like, this is what the internal alarms were, because that's what I had married, was that. And he hit it so well, date after date. The fifth one still had me like a little on edge, but that sixth one, man. I didn't enjoy your ex-husband one bit. The guy was a tool. Yeah, he was a lot. He was a lot. Good riddance. Good riddance. But yeah, the dating life, man. I hope I never have to do it again. My guy's a good guy. And I don't know how he puts up with me, but he does. He's a good one. Off of that note, I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but do you have, it's true, the scary, yes, it's yeah. The living are scarier than the dead. Okay, so do you guys have something where you just hoard it? You hoard things where maybe the guys, it's like, oh yeah, tools. For the ladies, maybe it's, not to be totally stereotypical here because I don't collect shoes, but some girls have like 50 million pairs of shoes. I'm not one of them. My thing is art supplies. Like, it's ridiculous. I have no idea what to do. If I had to date, you met your wife in March 1981. Holy hell. That's like, I was only a month old, not even. Yeah, so this is, I usually hoard with a purpose in mind. Well, yeah, I mean, art supplies like a crazy person. I am with you. Who said that? Art supplies like Mike. Yes, of course, Mike. I should have known it was you that said that. So here's the problem. Okay, Christmas comes around and everybody knows that I like art supplies. I don't necessarily actually use them. They sit around and they collect dust and they look so pretty. But I haven't actually taken the time to sit my ass down and make anything. Although I lie, because I do make stuff. But like on the fine art kind of front, I have not sat down and made anything for a while. So Christmas comes around, nobody knows what to get me. Because they figure, oh, she's clearly gonna want some art supplies, but what does she not have? That's a good question, because half the time I don't even freaking know. I've lost track of what I've got at this point. It's like, there are things I have 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 of, because I'll go to Michael's and I'll kind of peruse and I'll see something that catches my eye and I decide that I just need it. You know, I'm a bit of an art supply freak. I can't help it. What mediums do you like? All the ones that are available to buy for absolutely no reason, to hoard on my shelves and possibly never use. Those are the ones that I like the most. It's so bad. It's so bad. So Christmas came and I started getting gift cards for Michael's, and I'm just like, dude, what do I even buy? And not to jump back to like gloomy, but when I was a kid, I've seen your art supplies, you have a little store in your house. Yeah, I do. It's ridiculous. So when I was a kid, I used to joke that art was free therapy, minus the cost of supplies. Because I could have the absolute worst week, and then that weekend I could sit there all weekend at the kitchen table, all of our supplies in the middle of the table. It was me, it was my uncle, it was my sister, sometimes my cousin. And we just draw all weekend. And it just turned my brain off, you know? So it's crazy, again, not to get back into the downer mode, but when I was with my ex-husband and it was complete and utter fucking misery all the time, I would find myself wandering the aisles of art stores. Like, what do I need here? And it was not like I really needed anything, but I think there was just that mental connection of that's what I used to do when things were really crappy, is I would sit down and I would make things. So I was finding myself wandering the aisles of art stores, buying a shit ton of Copic markers that I've barely used. I've got the whole collection over there and they're not cheap. Such language. I know, I'm sorry. I'm from New England and we kind of swear a little bit. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. My mom taught me how to learn. My English is not very good today. My mom taught me how to use all the best swear words. So I blame her. I can't help it. So anyways, I would just find myself there buying stuff, tell myself, I will use this eventually. That habit has not stopped. Time to do some painting. You're not kidding. So I get gift cards from Michael's for Christmas, and I'm just like all excited. That's not just a New England thing. I talk the same for you. I'm from Texas. Shit the bed is my favorite saying. Yeah, it's friggin' fantastic, like shooting the shit. I have a potty mouth. My grandmother did too, my mom's mom, and I loved it. Because I remember bringing my ex to her house, and she's like dropping all kinds of bombs, and he's just sitting there like, and I'm like, welcome to New England. All right. So anyways, I have these gift cards, and I'm all excited to go to Michael's, right? Because I was like, ooh, yay, I get to get some stuff that I'm not going to use, that I'll probably use someday, hopefully. Next live chat, draw or paint a picture. You know, I did that with my patrons, and like, it didn't, I mean, people didn't seem that interested. And I was running it as an art channel, or to begin with. And now it's kind of a mix of things, because I'm going to be doing a mix of things here. But maybe I will do that one of these days if you guys are into that. Yeah, so I end up at Michael's. I have gift cards. This should be like the best day ever. And I'm walking around with my guy. His name's Brett. And I'm like, I have that. I have that. I have that. I have 10 of those. I have 5 of those. I have 16 of those. I don't need that. Will never use that. What the hell am I gonna get? I have gift cards. I want to get something, but it was just like, I didn't need anything. And I was so depressed leaving. I was like, this sucks. This really sucks. I bought a few things. I bought those like terracotta like planters, because I plan on painting those and then putting them on my Halloween shop. Never heard you swear so much. Yes, New England right here with you. I swear a lot. You just didn't hear it a lot on the show because I try to mind my P's and Q's, but they could edit a lot out or they just bleeped us. So, yeah, I walked away with the planters and some acrylic outdoor paint for those, and a clay extruder because I didn't have one. I don't think I really needed it, but you know what? I didn't have it. So I got one. So anyways, I leave with a good, I don't even know how much I had left, like 17 or something. And then of course, Michael's is the devil. Oh, as a plant and spooky lover, I need a painted pot from you. They're coming eventually. I can't say where I'm going to start. I was going to try to make them for Valentine's Day, and time got the best of me. So anyways, I ended up going back by myself without my boyfriend, and he was perfectly fine with me in there. He's being a complete clown, actually. He's like trying to juggle things and dropping them and doing these goofy little strut walks across the end of the aisle. So I was dying. I'm just like trying to find stuff. And it was funny, but my brain was getting annoyed because it was like, I've got gift cards and I don't know what the hell I want. And I don't know what I actually need, because I've always got a few projects going at the same time, but I couldn't think of anything that I needed. So anyways, I go back on my own, probably the next day, if I remember correctly. And I found this. I'm curious to know if any of you guys have tried it. I saw the box. I don't know if it's Arteza or Arteza. It seems like everybody says it different. And I picked it up and I was like, holy hell, this is a heavy freaking box, right? So I got kind of excited because I'm like, I do not have this. And it must go with the collection of other things that I have not used. But the thing is, I really liked the case. Hold on, let me see if I can open it. I really liked the case that it came in. I'm one of those weirdos, like nice box or case, or this was a nice case. Oh yeah. Smells like heaven. Okay, it's so pretty. All right, so here's the case, right? And it's got these nice little thingamabobs to close it. And it's got a little handle. I mean, it's freaking cute, right? I use them, they're okay. Colored pencils are wacky, slightly clumpier than Prism. No, these aren't markers or like pencils. These are some other stuff. It's funny that you find stuff that you wouldn't use. Sounds like you don't use much anyways. It's so bad. I have good intentions. It'll happen eventually, I hope. Okay, right? Paulette, you love the case too? See, I'm not completely crazy, guys. It's a cute little case. But anyways, you open it up and it's like a rainbow inside. It just made me happy. Look at this. I've got problems. Ooh, that looks expensive. It really wasn't that bad. I think it was like 24 or something. I don't know. But they come with this little handy dandy card where you can swatch all the colors, right? And then it's all these like little gouache pods, I guess. I don't know. But the thing is like, you gotta open every single one of them. They're all gonna be unwrapped, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Clearly you can see I haven't done it yet, and I've probably had this for like a month and a half. So, right on top of using it, right? But all the colors just look so pretty. And I like these little, oh, they're called pink tubs, not pods. What the hell did I know? Ooh, see? And they even have a little, I just figured they're all just placed in there, but they've got like a little, they've got their own little compartment. And some really bright colors. I just thought this was cool. And I wanted to try it and then put it in my room and forgot that I had it. But I remembered that I had it today because I wanted to show you guys because I thought it was kind of cool. Have any of you guys used gouache? I remember awesome times drawing with relatives and friends. Yeah, so much fun. People either love gouache or they hate it. They make it sound like it's kind of like watercolor, but it's kind of like acrylic. And I thought I read somewhere that there are like acrylic gouaches. I don't freaking know. I don't know. I don't know how it works. But I thought, what the hell? I had a gift card. Never heard of it, yeah. And I'm also wondering too, like, once I open this and it dries out, because clearly I'm not going through that much with one painting. I use gouache on Garbage Pail Kids. It's half acrylic and half gouache. What exactly is the gouache though? Because people make it sound like it's kind of like watercolor. But I mean, and like if I open this, it's gonna dry out. Can I still use it like watercolor? Because I know with the watercolor tubes, like the wet tube paints, you add some water and it reactivates it. Is that the same with this? Because that's another reason why I haven't opened it to actually check out the colors. One of the many reasons I forgot about it. I haven't had a chance to read it up. I don't know. I thought it was pretty. It works similar to acrylic, not as shiny, dries slower. So, but does it reactivate with, like, because you can use it with water. I mean, I know you can use acrylic paint, like use water to thin it down and keep it wet. So if this pod dries out, can I use water to reactivate it to keep using it? Because that was one of the, although this thing shuts, oh, maybe that's what keeps it from drying out. Maybe that's why the case is nice. Because it does close up pretty good. You can reactivate it. That sure is handy dandy. I'm sorry. You seem to be so happy looking at colors. Why not paint the room? Yeah, I could do that. I just throw it all off the wall. It'll be like tie-dye. Use a couple drops of baby oil. Okay. They reactivate with water. Okay. Well, that makes me feel better. Maybe I will pull these all off and then I could say I did something with them. But no, I geeked out over the case and then I geeked out over the colors. And as you can see, it's still in the friggin' box. I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm a hot mess. I don't even know. I do have a series though. My patron people in there, you guys know what I'm talking about. I think you guys will really like it. My ass is gonna sit down and actually do it. Good grief. It's so pretty. Gotta put it back in its box. Gotta put it back in its home. Petroleum base, use baby oil. Water base, use water. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, if it's acrylic, then it would be water, I would assume, because I know you can use water to thin it out acrylic and keep it wet longer. The artist in you lights up when you, oh my gosh, I'm awful with art supplies. 100 likes, not bad. 100 likes. Oh, I'm just seeing what you're talking about. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. The problem is too, is like, I'm trying to keep my Halloween shop going and things are really weird right now. People are not spending, which I totally understand because I'm in the same boat, right? The economy is shite. So it's just my sales slowed way down, and while it's been doing that, I've been trying to make things for my shop so that I'm not buying new merch and I'm making use of stuff that I already have. So that's why we've got all these keychains. And I already showed you guys last week, but I made totes, I've made zipper pouches. So all that stuff I throw in my shop in between when things are like just at a standstill, really, because one, I like making things, but two, I'm trying to avoid buying new merch. So I'm making it myself. But yeah, so that's just been taking up a lot of time. And I have a clay project which I've started. Some of you guys know about it because you're on my Patreon, and I think I shared it a little bit on Instagram subs, but I had a cracking problem with not a crack problem, I had a cracking problem with the clay. So I need to figure that out. Can you throw it at the wall? Sorry, Chris, I better run. Enjoy watching you. Thanks for hanging out, Jay. Have a good night. Hey, Chris, finally joining. Welcome, Justin. Sorry, I was thinking Dustin Perry. That sounds like a very seasonal business. Funny enough, it's not, because there's a lot of us weirdos that like weird shit year round. Usually it does pretty good. So it's just, things are so rough right now. I think for everybody, it's just kind of slowed slowed a bit. I was doing pre-sale stuff on shirts. I think I'm gonna run that way from now on. Because as a small business, stocking shirts are a pain in the ass because you need a bunch of different sizes. You need several pieces in each size. If they have a shirt available in a bunch of colors, chances are I can only stock one because, again, it's expensive. But when I do the pre-sales, I can do multiple shirts in multiple colors and all the sizes, and then, you know, everybody has to wait on the shipping end because I'm not Amazon. You know, you gotta wait. Usually I run it for like 2 weeks, and then I give the business about a 2 week to get it to me, and then me to get out to you guys immediately. But it's actually worked out pretty well. And then I don't end up stuck with a lot of rando sizes, because some of the shirts that I have in stock now, it's like I have 2 shirts left and it's like 2 smalls, or it's a small and like a 3X, and I don't have any of the sizes in between. Kraken is whacking. You goofball. Enjoy your live chats, videos. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend too, Kirk. Oh, what did you say? Memento Mori, sweet. Oh, thank you. I actually designed the Memento Mori shirts and hoodies. Those are mine. I designed those. Part of my shop, when I started it, was for a Halloween subscription box that ran year round but quarterly. So I had to forego out a year. And each box was themed. So I had a witch box, I had a ghost box, I had a Bigfoot box, I had a cemetery graveyard box, and for that cemetery graveyard box, I did the Memento Mori shirts. Usually with each box, I would try to design or make at least like one item for every box, which was a lot of work because I usually, I think my biggest run was 60 one time, but that time I designed a sticker, so it wasn't so bad. I kind of miss those, especially the big, oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing them, but again, the economy started tanking. I noticed it right when the war in Ukraine started. People just really slowed down with buying them. And then it just gradually got worse. So then I had to pull back because I was getting stuck with a lot of extra pieces. I would figure on, because the Bigfoot box I sold 60 of. So my next round I upped it to 80, figuring I can do this. But then the war broke out and gas prices started going crazy. People got nervous with spending, and it's just been a roller coaster ever since. So that's why I now do the smaller mystery boxes. They're just not as elaborate, I guess, because the ones that I was doing, I had special boxes for, and I printed out stuff for the inside, and I printed out cards that had some weird history fact tied to whatever the theme was for that month, for that box. Then I'd usually have 8 items in there. Yeah, I loved it. I loved doing it. I hope to get back there to be able to do it, but I gotta wait until we all climb out of the hole that we're living in right now, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get back there. But yeah, for now I have the small mystery boxes, and those have 3 to 5 items in there depending on the cost of the items. If I put a higher cost item in there, obviously the amount of items in there are going to be lower. And there's always some sort of candy or sweet, because what is Halloween without candy? The candy was always extra fun. Yeah, thank you. I tried to get it to fit the theme of the box, but I love the stickers. Thank you, thank you. The population isn't sure about spending money due to the Yes, I hear you. That's why I can't even complain. It just is what it is. We're all living in the same kind of nonsense right now, so I get it. But yeah, those gummies are delicious. Oh my God. The Candy Club gummies were ridiculous. I loved the Witch's Brew ones. I am a sugarholic. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. If I could live on sugar, I would live on it. But I'm already struggling with my diet. So that's actually one of the videos I was planning on doing. Because I know a lot of you, well, not a lot of you, but there's a lot of people that do New Year's resolutions. I did not do that. But let me pull my chair out a little bit. I'm stuck. I know a lot of people do New Year's resolutions. I didn't this year and I didn't last year. But not this past October. The October before that, so 2022. Yeah. I started going to the gym at the end of October. And those last 2 weeks, I missed the Monday on both those weeks. So then I counted from November 1st. And from November 1st of 2022 all the way through to November, well, until Christmas of 2023, I went to the gym Monday through Friday for the full over a year with no missed days. I missed Christmas and I was so pissed. And it wasn't necessarily going to the gym. It was either the gym, a hike, walking. One time I had to work out in my hotel room because we got there stupid late and then I found out there was no gym. And I was like, I am not missing a day, damn it. So I worked out in my room to a video on YouTube that didn't require weights and stuff. But I learned a lot from that. It was super insanely frustrating and maddening, to be perfectly honest. So I was thinking about doing a video to share with you guys because I know there are some of you that are probably doing a New Year's resolution and you're like, I'm going to lose weight and get toned and fit. I figured I'd share what I learned because it's super duper annoying. It's like, ugh. And I hate the gym. I hate it. I hate working out. I'm not somebody who loves to work out. But yeah, so then I missed Christmas. So I decided, instead of saying no miss days Monday through Friday, I do 5 days a week. So when I miss a day, Monday through Friday, I do Saturday, usually. But I was thinking about sharing that one. I've just got so many different ideas and I'm so all over the place. I think that's been my biggest worry every time I try to start doing YouTube is just, I like history, I like genealogy, I like travel, I love art, I love cake decorating, which does not help with dieting at all. You know, I'm a crafter too. I kind of do a little bit of, woodworking. I've done home improvement stuff. I've done body work on cars. Yeah. So it's hard because every time I sit down and make a video, like I'll be like, okay, because they always tell you to pick one topic for your videos, right? Every week you got to talk about the same freaking thing, which just sounds insanely mind-numbing to me. So that was the drama that I was having. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a history channel. Okay, do a video. Okay, it's like, all right, that's up. Now what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do a history video. I don't want to do a history video. Let's do cakes. Okay, I'll do a cake. We'll do cakes. I'll have a cake channel. This will be good. Then I'm like, I'm trying to lose weight. I shouldn't be making cakes every week. This is not a good idea. And it's like, I don't want to make another cake because I'm all sugared out from last week. So I want to do an art video. We should do art. So I just keep cycling and cycling and cycling. And I just kept getting stuck. So now I'm here to say, F it. I'm just going to start throwing spaghetti at a wall. And whatever I feel like freaking doing is what's going to happen. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you don't like the topic that week, I can promise you most likely next week it's going to be something completely and utterly different. And I figured I'd throw some like life crap in too because everybody's life is chaotic and everybody deals with things different ways. And like I said, going to the gym or working out, I should say working out for a full year with no miss days Monday through Friday. I never thought I'd even be able to say that I ever did that. So I thought that would be a good one to share with you guys because thinking about it is mental. Mike asks, Chris, what is your weight goal? So, with my ex-husband, I put on 70 pounds. It was just complete and utter emotional, mental shit show. A A lot of cheating on his part, a lot of lying, just complete and utter chaos. I was half living in the US, half living in Australia. When I was in Australia, I was isolated, and he was just not a good person. So I packed on the pounds. That was kind of my way of dealing with it, I guess. So I want to get rid of what I gained. I have lost some of it, but I still have like 70 to go. Probably about 70 pounds. Not 70, I'm sorry. I had 70 originally. I have like 50 to go. But I just keep yo-yoing recently. And the gym was just... like I said, I'll do a video and I'll get into it because it was just not... I learned some things. And it pissed me off just a little bit. Genealogy, history, fitness, art are all awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, so I'm working on a video right now called Spaz Mode Activated. And I'm hoping to have that up next week, hopefully on Friday. And I'm just going to go through some of what I was just talking to you guys about being stuck between a niche or niche, however the hell you want to say it, and just being all over the place and how I plan to tackle it and that sort of thing. And yeah, that's coming up. Been working on that now. And then I'll just start getting into some random stuff. I was looking at Fridays being my upload days, which is why I've been doing lives on Fridays to just kind of get you guys used to me being a complete and utter goofball. But yeah, hopefully next week will be an edited video. Fingers crossed. The other thing is too, is it takes forever to upload out here. I live in the freaking boonies. Not the boonies, but it's like a good 25 minutes-ish to get to town. And like there's literally cattle that wander around the neighborhood at night and destroy our trees and shit all over the lawn. Like there are tumbleweeds out here. This is not normal for a New England girl. I can tell you that much. I'm still not used to it. But yeah, sometimes the uploads take forever. So for me to upload a video for Friday, I'll have to start uploading it on Thursday. And I'm not even kidding. So I'll see how it goes because I'll probably film on Tuesday. Yeah, that's the plan. Friday. Much respect going every day for a year at the gym. I have trouble going twice a week, dude. It's awful. It's awful. Narcissistic cattle. There you go. They poop wherever they want. Oh my God. Actually, that makes me think of, I was investigating in, I'm really looking forward to your new channel here or with Dustin. Both of them are newish. The one with Dustin's super duper new. You still driving your classic car? I don't have a classic. I have a 2007 convertible Mustang. I've had her since 2008. I drive her every day. She's the only car I have. She's looking pretty good for her age. Miles aren't too crazy. So yeah, I like her. I forgot what I was talking about. I just had a squirrel moment. I do that a lot too. What were we talking about, guys? Let me see if I can figure it out with the comments. Oh, going to the gym every day. Yeah, it's a bitch. It's a complete and utter bitch. And it's not even that I went to the gym every day. I had to do something. I had to work out every day. So the majority, when I first started, it was walking. And I'd walk around our block, which is 2 miles. So I'd either do 1 time around or I'd do 2 times around, depending on how I was feeling. Or I do 1 time around in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, because working from home, either I'm sitting at a computer or I'm on my feet, and it was just a good way to stretch, right? So that's how I started. And then I started going to the gym, and then I was mixing it with cardio and weight training. So it's a full year, Monday through Friday, of no miss days of the gym, hikes or walks, and 1 day where I had to work out in my hotel room with a YouTube video. But yeah, I don't like working out. What shows do you have on the horizon? There are no shows for me at the moment on the horizon. It seems like a lot of the TV world right now is in this weird shakeup. Like there was a lot of mergers, and there's like networks that put too many eggs in the subscription basket, like the whole plus thing. And I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot to some degree. So there's a lot of networks that are just either not buying, or they're holding off on buying, or they're being very selective in what they buy. So that's where I was kind of like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna start doing cardio as a bitch. I figure, why not just bug you guys on here? Like, you know, if there are show opportunities, I'll take them. It's always fun. I love working with my friends. But if there aren't, this is a space that I can be creative and I can kind of do my own thing, and there's no like networks or production companies to worry about. I don't have to get approval from anyone. Oh, convention shows, events. Okay. Yes, I have one in Pennsylvania at Pennhurst in May. That one I did last year and it was awesome. No bleeps. You get to hear my swearing in all its glory. Then I have one in, technically I might have 2 in August. Working on the second one. Can't get into that one just yet. The other one is Michigan Paracon. Do that one. I've done that one so many times. I freaking love it. I love the people that organize it. Everybody goes to it. All of us weirdos are there. It's so fun to see everybody. It's so great to catch up. It's great to meet people who watch the show that go. So much fun. Will you be at Michigan? Yes, I will. I'll be there this year. And then what was the other one? New Jersey. I'm doing the Para-Unity one this year, which will be my first time going. So I'm pretty excited for that. God, my nose is itchy. I think it's my hair. Keeps tickling. You need to, Veronica, you have to go to Michigan. It's so much fun. So much fun. I think you'd love it. Kind of wish you do more reaction videos to movies like Star Wars. Yeah. You still keep in touch with the other cast members from Ghost Hunters. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them, yeah. With some, we've just kind of drifted apart. Life got busy. We're on different paths, like just kind of life, you know. But others, yeah, talk to them like every day or at least a few times a week, or, you know, check in once a month sort of thing. And when events come around, it's just awesome to see everybody. So, oh yeah, you should do Michigan, Mike. There's another one too that you might like. But that one, if you want to go to one that's going to have the most people, like most paranormal people at it, Michigan for sure. Pennhurst is great, and the one in New Jersey is great. The other event that I haven't been able to announce yet, there's just going to be 3 of us there, but I'm really looking forward to it because it's a pretty cool location that we're going to that we haven't been to in a long time. Time to visit Japan. I would love to go to Japan. Freaking love to. I've always wanted to go. Tell us about the Hoover Dam investigation that that freaked me out. The Hoover Dam was pretty cool. It was enormous. It was flippin' huge. We definitely didn't even see all of it. It was select areas that they said that they experienced a lot of things in. I was trying to think. Dustin and I, we all had experiences in the same spot, and I'm forgetting the name of the location, but it was where Jay and Sherry heard that what sounded like somebody was screaming like they were falling. Dustin and I had a bunch of cold spots there. We're sitting on the stairs and it felt like something kept walking past us. And then I felt like there was a cold hand or something on my back. It was just a cold, isolated spot, which was really strange. There was no place for drafts. Like, we couldn't feel any breeze or anything. It was just an isolated cold spot going by us multiple times. And we kept hearing noises too in one of the long halls, I think, that was leading into the spot that had the area with the cold spot and the yell. It was a cool place. Very, very cool place. It's not a place I ever imagined getting into, kind of like when we did Alcatraz. So when Jay called up and was like, hey, what you doing? I was like, oh, I was excited. I wanted to do Fort Wayne Paracon, but I think they canceled it last year. They said they were going to have you, Dustin, and Grant there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that one, because the last I heard was they were going to postpone it. I never got word that they were canceling it. So I don't know if it's still happening. I have no idea if it's not. I should bug her though, because I've had a few people ask me about it, and I would kind of like to know, and I'm sure those who bought tickets would like to be refunded. So there's that part too, if it's not happening. I haven't heard anything about that one for a while. I'll try poking them and seeing what the deal is. Scarefest usually has a great group of paranormal shows, experts, and cast members. Yes, I haven't done that one in a few years. But yeah, they're great too. They're very good. And they have a good mix of people. Like, you get people from horror shows too. There's one year I went and I was completely nerding out over somebody. Who was I nerding out over? Can't remember. But yeah, I haven't been to that one in a while. The last time, I got a story for you. Okay, this will probably be the last story because I haven't eaten. I need dinner. So here's my story from the last time I went to Scarefest, and it had nothing to do with the people at the event. That event's awesome every time I've been to it. This is just something that happened to go down in the hotel bar / restaurant. And it was complete ridiculous. It was just, it was awful. So the first night I went to the restaurant and I got a table for myself. And I was sitting, just sitting at this table for two solo, right? And everything was fine. So the next night I go back to have dinner, and the lady's like, oh, do you mind sitting at the bar, or would you like to sit at the bar? And yeah, she asked me if I would like to. I had an option. I was like, yeah, sure, not thinking. Which normally I'm fine with sitting at the bar. I like sitting there, actually. But sometimes when you're at an event and you just want to eat, it's better to sit at a table by yourself, because you can just eat your food and get it over with and get back to the event. Where if you're at a bar is more of a social spot. So people bounce around and they talk to each other, and sometimes you can't eat because you have people that want to chat with you, and it just, you don't want to be rude, but then you're freaking starving, and it's just kind of this weird little thing, right? So I said bar. I was like, okay. Now I was at the very end of the bar in the corner, and right at the short part was this, I'm assuming, husband and wife, right? So they're sitting right next to each other. The wife is sitting closest to the corner, and I sit down at the next seat on the corner. And she looks at me like she wanted to murder me. I just barely sat down, and she's like, where are you from? And I'm like, New Hampshire. And I forget what she said, but she was just being a bitch. Like, she was very aggressive and confrontational, and I just sat down, so I didn't know what the hell her deal was. And she came off as probably drunk. So then the husband said something to her, and she went storming off outside, and I'm just sitting like, what the hell, right? So the husband goes out. I'm like, thank Christ they left. So this guy who's sitting 2 seats down, he saw the whole thing go down. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I don't even understand what just happened. And he's like, no, that was crazy. Because she said a few things to me that were just like really shitty, really, like she was looking for a fight. And I didn't understand what the hell was going on. So the husband comes back in, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, I am so sorry for her behavior. She can be a little aggressive. Like, she's in a mood. I like really sorry. And I'm thinking, you know, I told him like, no worries. It's no big deal. Thank you. Like, I didn't expect her to come back in. So I'm thinking, cool, like they're leaving. And he goes, she's going to come back in now, but she's going to behave. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. So I'm sitting there. She barely sits her ass in that seat and she slams her elbow down on the bar and she goes, how are you doing? And I was like, I'm just gonna move somewhere else. And she goes, you do that, bitch. And I turned around, I'm like, fuck you, right? I was pissed, but I was shaking because I'm not somebody who gets into fights. But I was just like beside myself because I was like, what is this woman's problem? Like, I just sat down. Maybe her husband looked at me or something and she just got mad. I don't know if he did. I didn't see it. I have no idea what her problem was. So I'm like shaking. I just put my order in for food, freaking starving, got up to move somewhere else, wasn't sure where to go. And there was this girl who I had not known before the event. We ended up getting picked up together by Scarefest from a driver, and I got to know her in the car. She saw me and she's like, hey, Chris, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, no, not really. So I was explaining to her what was going on. She's like, come sit with us. And she would sit with a whole group of like horror people. And I was sitting with them just completely and utterly in a daze because, again, I'm not good with confrontation. I'm not a fighter. I'm just not. Like, you know, if somebody's being rude, I might be rude back. But aggressive, like she was? No. So it was just really weird. I ended up having to flag down the waiter to let him know that I moved and I didn't bail. And then he wanted to know what happened and it turned this whole thing. I don't know if they kicked him out or what, but holy freaking cuckoo. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. And again, I don't even understand what started it. Scarefest usually has a great group of paranormal shows. Extra. Okay. Yeah, this girl, I don't even think they were with the, I don't think they were even with Scarefest. I think there was a concert in town. I forget who was playing. It was some sort of country star. I don't know. I'm not a country music girl, but they were playing that same night. And I think she was part of that group getting smashed before they went in. But holy hell, I was not ready for that at all. Holy cow, from the lighthouse steps in GH to being scared. How are you doing, Miss Chris? That is great. It was insane. It was completely and utter chaos. There was no need for it. I don't know. I wasn't a fan. That kind of threw my whole night off. And then Lee, who manages us, him and his wife, Jennifer, they were across the street having dinner. And I had to text him and tell him what was going on. So he came over to get me because I didn't know if they were staying at the hotel and I was going to have to deal with her again in the lobby or something. So he came over to get me. But you just never know with people. People are nuts. Absolute nuts. But, all right. With that said, I do have to jump off here. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was fun again, as always. Next week, I'm going to try my damnedest to have that spaz mode activated video up. If for some reason it can't happen, I'll jump on here again live. But as I start getting videos consistently, I'll be doing live a little less. But I'm trying to get in the habit of actively coming on here and harassing you guys. So I figured live was a good way to start. With that said, you guys have a great night, and I will be back to bug you again very soon, whether you like it or not. Okay. Night, guys.